Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about some crypto and the news and what's going on in little dollar cost averaging and how you can pay your mortgage apparently with Bitcoin. I don't know why anybody would want to, but that is the topics we are going to cover quickly. Bitcoin had a little bit of a slump, went to 50,000, kicked back to around 47, I think. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, 47. And it's on its way back up. Like I said, I think it will continue until Friday is when there's an options expiration. And people are either going to want to hit their numbers to make sure their longs go through and they win their bets, or apparently they have to push the price to all the way down to 42,000 for the maximum pain where both the longs get wiped out and a lot of the shorts get wiped out. I don't see 42,000. And the main reason for that is when we look at the metrics here on the Bitcoin exchange for the reserve and the amount of Bitcoin that's on the exchanges for trading and over-the-counter trades. You know, in these big businesses, they come in and they say, I want to get 100,000 Bitcoin. Well, they don't just go to spot exchange. They go to 5, 10, 15, 20, or 100 different exchanges and say, I want to buy 10,000 Bitcoin. I want to buy 5,000 Bitcoin. I want to buy XYZ number of Bitcoin. And they quote them a price, and it's all done behind the scenes. It never hits the spot, never adjusts the price, but it does come off the exchange, and that is Bitcoin that is no longer available. Because as we all know, Bitcoin is a finite resource. So what you see here is the Bitcoin all exchanges reserve. And right here is the Bitcoin was the pumping and dumping and pumping and dumping in the washing machine for the old Wyckoff thing. I'm happy to see that other YouTubers picked up on the Wyckoff thing that I had mentioned a few days ago. That was nice to see. Some pretty good validation for the same things that I had seen. So we have this whole washing machine thing going on, and you notice that the blue, purple, I don't know if you're colorblind, brown, whatever. This different number down here where the my cursor is at, this is how much Bitcoin is actually on the exchanges. And you can see as people were buying, and the retail investors, the exchange was sort of opposite mirroring it. Okay, but the numbers, the exchange levels were going way down to the absolute bottom when Bitcoin was at 63,000 here, 64,000. And then, of course, after we have our meltdown crash where we lost about 50% of the price, the amount of Bitcoin that was sitting on the exchanges went way up. So a lot of big whales, a lot of people sold directly to exchanges or something here, where we have a very large amount. And that's where Bitcoin was stuck at 30 to 35,000 for many weeks. And then we have this spike on the exchanges here right as the prices start to rise. And what happened here was where I believe the miners had to sell a lot of their Bitcoin to the exchanges so that they could pack up and move out of China. And at the same token, the hash rate went down, and the miners who didn't have to move out of China were making money like mad. They're still making a lot of money. But the investors are buying it all up. And now we have a sharp drop. This was, of course, before our market run-up here, July 28th. Almost a vertical drop in the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. And as you can see, it is more or less moving sideways all the way up to where we're at today. August 25th, we're at. This only goes up to the 22nd because I'm not going to pay CryptoQuant $1,000 a month or whatever they want for the most accurate recent data of the last couple of days. But in how it's looking here, unless there is a huge spike that does not show up on the exchange's reserve, I'm assuming Bitcoin is going to continue to run sideways. I don't see spikes in the exchange reserves going way up. That would indicate that the price would fall. So we're going to continue on sideways, is my opinion. Probably over this weekend, after all of the options trading and all whatever's going to happen with that is done, probably going to be in the low 50,000s. And whether or not it takes off after that, where we're gaining 5% a day after day after day, is kind of sort of what I'm looking for. But you never know. If it does go down to 42,000, you better be buying. Not investment advice, not investment advice. We don't do investment advice. It's just I would be buying or will be buying if it actually went down to 42. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Moving on to the next story here is we're talking about Bitcoin mortgages in Yahoo Finance. This came out today. You might soon pay your mortgage with Bitcoin, and here's why you'd want to. Let me tell you, you'd never want to. There is no reason ever you would want to take your Bitcoin and pay a bill with it. Ever. Ever. Why would you take an asset that's guaranteed to double every year or quadruple? Pay the interest on a mortgage where the bank could decide to take your house. Doesn't make any sense. Would you pay your mortgage with gold? Would you pay your mortgage with diamonds, rubies, sapphire, silver? No, you wouldn't. You want to pay your mortgage with that phony baloney stuff that has little all-seeing eyes on it and it's painted green. The whole bunch of dead presidents that they hold up as idols. You want to pay your mortgage with that. But let me tell you, in the next year, everybody is going to be taking Bitcoin. Because just like many of the magic bean coins out there, you can only get these altcoins, magic bean coins. You can only trade your precious Bitcoin to get these magic bean coins. You can't even give them Federal Reserve dollars to get them because they're on alternate exchanges. They're not listed on a Coinbase. They're not listed on a Kraken. They're not listed on anything where they're actually doing a cash transfer, whatever denomination, whatever currency you want to. But they'll take your Bitcoin. And we'll give you some magic beans for your Bitcoin. Much like you can pay your mortgage with your Bitcoin if you want to. Bad idea. But let's see what they say about it, why they say it's a good idea. U.S. mortgages have taken a step into the unknown, with an announcement from the nation's second largest home lender that it will soon allow borrowers to make their monthly payments in cryptocurrency. Of course they will. Everybody will take cryptocurrency payments. Of course they will. I would suggest if you're going to pay in crypto, which is maybe not a bad idea, you don't use your Bitcoin to do it. You use some other less valuable coin. We're excited that hopefully by the end of September, by the end of September, guys, Bitcoin, by the end of September. Remember I was saying in my last video that for dollar cost averaging, putting money into Bitcoin below 50,000 is not a bad idea, even if it continues sideways for a couple of weeks, or even if it goes down to 45,000, it's still a good idea to keep putting in because we have all of these things coming up in September. I think it's September 7th, El Salvador. They're flipping the switch. They're flipping the switch in El Salvador. We've got an entire country who's going to be using this stuff. Okay. Now, they're planning for September, the second largest mortgage lender in America, or maybe all over, I don't know, says by September we want to take Bitcoin payments for people's mortgages. Some people might bite on that. I think anybody who's actually in the crypto space knows well enough not to spend their Bitcoin on stuff like that. Just like Tesla, nobody bought a Tesla when Tesla said you could buy our crappy cars with Bitcoin, and like, yeah, no thanks, Elon. No thanks, Elon. We're excited that hopefully by the end of September, we can actually execute on that before anyone in the country. So these guys want to be the first. United Wholesale Mortgage CEO Matt Ishbia said during his earnings call with Wall Street analysts last week, giving borrowers who've locked down historically low mortgage rates more flexibility to make their payments who would have benefits for a lender. But there are real advantages to paying a mortgage with Bitcoin instead of using cash. Are there? Let's see. UWM, the number 2 U.S. mortgage lender after Rocket Mortgage, I've never heard of Rocket Mortgage, believes that accepting Bitcoin will provide added convenience for its borrowers. We have nearly 1 million customers who pay us a monthly mortgage payment, and if accepting Bitcoin or other types of crypto makes it easier for our clients, we're going to find a way to do it. That is not at all what it is about, guys. Not at all. Remember, in this world of semi-quasi-fascism that has become the Western world, you know, the America, the Canada, the Britain, these places always go after where they can make some money, and they say they're doing it for your good, for the good of the customer. We just are going to spend all this money to round up Bitcoin because they have to hold Bitcoin if they're going to transact in it. We need to hire people who are crypto experts. We need to hire, figure out all of our exchange contracts. We need to spend all of this money to start accepting Bitcoin just to make things easier on the poor mortgage payer. Okay? Now understand this. This is not to get new customers, which would make sense that people would spend money to try and bring in customers from an area that they don't actually have a customer base in. But you're talking about people who are already paying their mortgage. You've already got them as a customer. They're already on the hook. And they're implementing this for people who are existing mortgage payers who are just doing it out of the goodness of our heart to make things easier for you to make your payment. No, it isn't. It's because everybody knows Bitcoin goes up by at least 200% a year. Okay? Obviously, that's why they're doing it, guys. I don't think anybody who is watching me is going to be rushing out to go pay their mortgage or buy stuff with their Bitcoin, but I'm just letting you know. For people out there who are brand spanking new, you don't want to buy anything with Bitcoin right now. Right now is a hold'em game. A hold'em game. Sometimes if there is an investment you want to get involved in where the only way you can get it on a decentralized exchange is by swapping some Bitcoin for it, go buy Bitcoin, transfer it into whatever you want to get. But don't touch your bags. Don't take anything out of cold storage or off your hard wallet to go buy some magic beans or a Tesla or pay your mortgage. Not investment advice, but that is what I would do. Tech journalist Naomi Brockwell hailed UWM's decision during recent interview with CoinDesk. She said that while Bitcoin hasn't proven itself especially useful for making payments in the past, mortgages could be a different story. What a lie. What a lie. Bitcoin hasn't proven itself useful for payments? What is El Salvador doing? Remember, guys, these people and investment people on Yahoo Finance and all these, they have no reason to tell you the truth. None. When you're dealing with large amounts for houses, it's precisely the kind of use case I can think of Bitcoin is good for in terms of payments, Brockwell said. Brockwell doesn't know about the Lightning Network. For borrowers with crypto reserves to tap into, making mortgage payments could be easier at the times Bitcoin values are surging. But when MoneyWise asked UWM for specifics on how the process would actually work for consumers, the company said it's too early to have details at this moment. You always have to watch out, guys, in the world of retail, in the world of finance, in the world of business. Anytime a business is referring to their clients, their customer base, as only merely consumers, like they will just eat whatever the company spits out, you have to be very careful with those types. This would be like your Disney Corp, right? We've got this hot IP. We don't care if the movies are junk. It says it's a Marvel movie, so you're going to eat it. And we don't care how bad it is because you're going to buy it anyway. You're just a consumer. You're not a customer. You're not a client. You're not a whatever. And these are mortgage people saying that the people who have mortgages through them that are going to have presumably a relationship with these people for 30 years, right? They call them consumers and not clients and not customers. Just a little nitpicky ideological idea that I got there. But watch out. Words have meaning. Remember when it used to be called the employee relations instead of human resources? Does anyone remember that, or am I just old? Borrowers will be looking for answers to several questions, including these. Will UWM be accepting actual crypto, or will a consumer need to trade it for dollars first using a cryptocurrency exchange? This is a stupid question because obviously if you wanted to pay your mortgage using Bitcoin, you would just cash it out into dollars and then send it off to your mortgage company, and this wouldn't be a news story. Will Bitcoin sellers be on the hook for additional fees using third-party exchanges as necessary? No. What happens if a delay or crash at the exchange results in a late mortgage payment? Who will determine the U.S. Bitcoin exchange rate? And blah, 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 blah. They're non-questions. You're going to take your Bitcoin and send it to your Bitcoin payment wallet address that's going to be at the company. That's it. They'll just create a wallet for your account. And as long as whatever the amount that is supposed to be there through a smart contract says that this certain amount of Bitcoin should be in this wallet, it shows up there, your stuff is paid. It's all on the blockchain. So anyways, that is the news by Clayton Jarvis, Yahoo Finance. You got to watch out for these guys. Everyone's going to want to take your Bitcoin. Everybody's going to want to take your Bitcoin. We'll take Bitcoin for everything. You don't want to do it. The next several years now are going to be accumulate as much cryptocurrency as you possibly can. That's the name of the game right now. Accumulate, accumulate, and hold. It's not always going to be this way, guys. It's not always going to be that cryptocurrency, whatever you put your money into, it's going to double, triple, quadruple in a week. That's not always going to be the case. Right now, we are in the period of history that is like the dot-com bubble. Okay? We're in that with cryptocurrency right now. So you find the good ones, you put money in and hold, and that is basically Bitcoin. If you're involved in the markets and you do a little trading here and there, you know, you can play around a little bit more. But if you're buying and holding and accumulating, you don't need to think about it. You don't want to put any effort into researching anything. You're just buying and accumulating Bitcoin. And then if you have an emergency comes up, or you need a down payment for some property, vacation spot, or a yacht, or whatever you need, you can go up to your Bitcoin account and look at what's going on with it and how much you've made, and you can take profits. Okay? It's an accumulation game. So that's what we have with that. Other news, there's some regulatory people that were looking at Binance for a couple of months now, and they're mad because Binance didn't have an office, a physical location. They weren't located really in a country. They were in... The people don't have offices. They just have laptops, and they do business wherever they happen to be all over the world. There's no office, and they're mad. And then they also are mad that they don't have KYC, of course, because they want to control all the on-ramps and all the off-ramps for all of these different exchanges. And sure, you already know that's going to happen. So Binance, it's not just Binance US. As the main difference between Binance US and Binance for the rest of the world was that US requires KYC. Now Binance through the rest of the world also requires KYC, so there isn't really too much of an issue for people who are wondering about that. We also did some dollar cost averaging stuff yesterday or Monday. Yeah, it was Monday, where I said I was going to move around some stuff. So anyways, the market was down for a couple of days. And you look at the totals here, 1362, and this is for your Hold'em investors. Set it and forget it. Buy it. Keep adding to a bag. And just keep on going and watch the numbers go up. This is the third week that I've dollar cost average into. So this is basically a little over 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a day or two. Up to from $1,000 to $1,362. And on the slow boat, right? And then our gambler boat, we're up to 1426. And the market took a dip. It was up where the gambler profile was up about $150 to $200 over the investment profile, which is where it should be. And now, because of the dip, it really closed the gap. And as I said, that's what happens. Is your altcoins, your Magic Bean coins, all of these are going to run a lot faster than a Bitcoin. But when the market turns, they will follow Bitcoin. Bitcoin loses 3%. Your Magic Beans will lose 20. Your Magic Beans will lose at least double, right? What Bitcoin is doing. But they're just more volatile. Look at them like that way. And most of them are going to follow whatever Bitcoin does. So what did I do with dollar cost averaging? I removed SafeMoon, which actually wasn't performing too bad, but I did remove SafeMoon. And I removed XLM because XLM just doesn't really, it hasn't performed. And If it doesn't perform at least as good as Bitcoin, then I remove it. There was something else that I had on here, but I only had like Shiba Inu. I think I had Shiba Inu. It was only like $12 worth of Shiba. We got rid of that and we replaced it with VeChain. We bought 1,000 coins, and I'm not sure what we paid for it. It's up to 12.8 cents now, but it was $128. It was $100 that I put into that. So that actually popped pretty good. And I think I added Engine Coin. I bought 50 of those. And Engine Coin is the NFT play, which I think is going to be. I think Engine is probably going to make some gains. And then I got Chili's, which is another NFT play, but this is a sports-based NFT play. So as we get around into football seasons and all these different seasons start ramping up, we'll see how good Chili's and the NFT play goes as far as the sporting teams. They have a lot of all the major backing from they have the licenses to do all these things. And it seems to me that is people like collecting that stuff. And at the price of 38 cents a coin, I don't know, $75 into it. Sure thing. As far as ones that I was looking at removing, Pirate Chain, I think Pirate Chain will go $6, and I'll hold on to it for a little bit longer. We'll hold on for a little longer. Atari, I had looked up and can't tell that they're doing anything, but it did have a decent return on it. And we'll look up here, and Atari was actually worth 10 cents back before, way in like September, before everything took off. September last year, a year ago, was worth 10 cents, and it went up with Bitcoin when Bitcoin went up to 65,000, went up to 50 cents, and I think it peaked out at 65 cents or something. But in the crash, it lost almost everything, back down to 10 cents since before September, and continues to go down to 5 cents, 5 to 6 cents. And I'd actually kind of think that maybe it's lagging behind, and I personally believe that Atari is probably good for at least twice that to get back up to a dime, because even back here before the market really pumped a year ago, it was really holding really strong at a dime to 12 cents. So we did pick up Atari coin, or we're leaving Atari coin. I picked that one up originally, and it did go up by like 90%. In the last 3 weeks. And then the other one we picked up here was VeChain. A lot of people really like VeChain, and it's sitting at 12.5, 13 cents right now. They're doing a lot of production work with VeChain. My main negative to that one is it's a China-based thing, and I'm not a big one for things out of China because you never know what they're going to do with regulation or anything over there. But from where it averages out, and from where I see it going, I would assume that it would probably is good for another 5 cents. Probably is good for another 5 cents before ditching it for something else. So that's what we're doing on a short term deal, and that is the updates from dollar cost averaging. And yeah, once again, Bitcoin, it looks like we're on the uptrend here. I would expect it to hold still below 50,000 until the weekend. My own personal opinion. And with that, guys, that is the news on this Wednesday of August 25th. And we'll see you next time.